Beneath your feet, under mountains and deserts across America, there may exist a shadow civilization. A vast network of underground cities and tunnels built with trillions of taxpayer dollars diverted from official budgets. Hidden from view, these facilities allegedly stand ready to house the elite during catastrophic events while the rest of us are left to fend for ourselves on the surface. In May 2025, a former Bush administration official made an explosive claim. The US government has secretly spent $21 trillion building an elaborate underground civilization, a refuge for the powerful when doomsday arrives. But is this real or just an elaborate conspiracy theory? Today, we dive deep into the evidence, the money trail, and the witnesses who claim to have seen what lies beneath. This is the $21 trillion underground, America's secret subterranean city. The startling claim. In early May 2025, Catherine Austin Fitts, who served as Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development under President George H.W. Bush from 1989 to 1990, appeared on Tucker Carlson's podcast with a shocking claim. According to Fitts, the U.S. government has spent decades funneling money into the construction of a secret underground network where the rich and powerful can shelter in the event of a near-extinction event. She estimated that approximately 170 such underground facilities exist across America and potentially under surrounding oceans, connected by an elaborate transportation system. When asked about the purpose of these facilities, her answer was chilling. It's preparation for catastrophe. But where would the money for such an enormous undertaking come from? That's where the story gets even more extraordinary. Following the money. In 2017, Michigan State University economist Dr. Mark Skidmore, along with a team of researchers, uncovered something remarkable: $21 trillion in what they called unsupported adjustments in the Department of Defense and Department of Housing and Urban Development between 1998 and 2015. To put this in perspective, the entire U.S. defense budget during that period was approximately $9.2 trillion. The $21 trillion figure represents accounting entries that, according to government auditors, could not be traced, documented, or adequately explained. In one particularly striking example, in 2015, the Army reported $6.5 trillion in accounting adjustments, an astounding 54 times its approved budget of $122 billion for that year. Days after Skidmore discussed his findings publicly, the Pentagon announced its first ever department-wide audit. While they didn't explicitly link the two events, the timing raised eyebrows among government watchdogs. It's important to note that defense budget experts have a different interpretation of what these unsupported adjustments actually mean. They argue these figures reflect accounting transactions, not actual missing money, and can include the same dollar being counted multiple times as it moves between accounts. But for Catherine Austin Fitts, the massive accounting discrepancies were evidence of something else entirely: the clandestine funding of an underground world. The known underground facilities. While claims of a multi-trillion-dollar underground civilization may sound far-fetched, the U.S. government does maintain several well-documented underground facilities built during the Cold War era. As Cold War tensions escalated in the 1950s, the U.S. government began constructing numerous underground bunkers designed to ensure continuity of government in the event of a nuclear attack. Perhaps the most famous is Cheyenne Mountain Complex near Colorado Springs, Colorado. This facility, built inside a granite mountain, houses elements of the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, and is designed to withstand nuclear blasts. Another significant facility is the Raven Rock Mountain Complex, often called Site R or the Underground Pentagon. Located near Blue Ridge Summit, Pennsylvania, it serves as an alternate command center for the Department of Defense. The Mountain Weather Emergency Operations Center in Virginia is operated by FEMA and serves as a relocation site for high-level civilian and military officials. It was built with approximately 600,000 square feet of underground space. And one of the most fascinating underground facilities was hidden beneath the luxurious Greenbrier Resort in West Virginia, codenamed Project Greek Island. This 112,000 square foot bunker was designed to house members of Congress during a nuclear war. It remained a secret for 30 years until it was exposed by the Washington Post in 1992. Complete with dormitories, meeting rooms, a hospital, and even a broadcast center with false windows painted with landscapes, the Greenbrier bunker represents just one example of the government's underground preparations that we know about. Deep underground military bases. Beyond these acknowledged facilities lies a more controversial topic, what some researchers call deep underground military bases, or DUMBs. According to various researchers and whistleblowers, these facilities are far larger and more extensive than the known bunkers, extending miles beneath the Earth's surface and connected by a high-speed underground transportation system. Modern tunnel boring machines can carve through rock at an impressive rate, creating smooth, finished tunnels as they go. The technology to build extensive underground networks certainly exists. One alleged base that has attracted particular attention is under Dulce, New Mexico, on the Jicarilla Apache Reservation. Claims about this facility entered the public consciousness in the late 1970s and early 1980s through various sources, including Albuquerque businessman Paul Bernowitz. The Dulce-based story has gained such traction in popular culture that it has been compared to the Shaver mystery of the 1940s, where tales of malevolent subterranean beings were published in various science fiction magazines. It's crucial to note there is no verified evidence confirming the existence of these more elaborate DUMBs, and many claims about them originate from unverifiable sources or have been admitted fabrications, and I am under no duress to say this. No discussion of alleged underground facilities would be complete without mentioning the Denver International Airport, which has become a nexus of conspiracy theories since its construction in the 1990s. The airport's strange artwork, unusual architectural features, and the fact that it came in significantly over budget and behind schedule have fueled speculation that it conceals a massive underground complex. According to Catherine Austin Fitt's recent claims, the underground Denver facility is particularly extensive, with some reports suggesting it contains multiple levels of subterranean cities. Airport officials have consistently denied these claims, even playfully leaning into the conspiracy theories in their public relations. However, the airport does acknowledge having extensive underground facilities for luggage handling and transportation between terminals. The technology and logistics. If underground facilities of the scale described by Fitts do exist, they would require extraordinary engineering solutions. Maintaining a habitable environment deep underground presents numerous challenges. Air needs to be continuously cycled and filtered, water must be purified and recycled, and power generation becomes critical when you're cut off from the surface grid. Food production would likely rely on hydroponic or aeroponic systems using artificial light to grow crops without soil. Similar systems are already in use in submarines and space stations. Perhaps the most intriguing are claims about high-speed underground transportation networks connecting these facilities. While the technology for underground maglev or vacuum tube transport exists, building such an extensive network would be an engineering feat of unprecedented scale. The witnesses and the whistleblowers. One of the most prominent figures who claimed direct knowledge of these underground facilities was Phil Schneider. Before his death in 1996, Schneider gave lectures claiming he had worked as a geological engineer involved in the construction of several underground bases. Schneider's most dramatic claim involved an alleged 1979 firefight between humans and non-human entities at the Dulce base, which he said left 60 people dead and him seriously injured. It's important to note that Schneider's claims remain unverified and there are significant inconsistencies in his accounts. No employment records or other documentation have been found to substantiate his claimed work on classified government projects, but in his defense, the government would probably be unlikely to provide any proof of his employment. Other individuals have come forward over the years with their own claims about underground facilities, though many accounts contain elements that strain credibility or contradict established facts. The bigger picture: why build underground? If the US government has indeed invested trillions in underground facilities, the question remains, what are they preparing for? According to Catherine Austin Fitts, the purpose is preparation for a near-extinction event. This could encompass a wide range of scenarios, including nuclear war, catastrophic climate change, a deadly pandemic, an asteroid impact, or societal collapse. The concept of ensuring government continuity during catastrophic events is not new or particularly controversial. What raises ethical questions is the alleged scale and exclusivity of these preparations. If the claims are true, they suggest a two-tier approach to disaster preparedness: elaborate underground sanctuaries for the elite, with limited or no comparable protection for the general public. This mirrors trends in the private sector where companies now market luxury bunkers to the ultra-wealthy, with prices reaching into the millions of dollars. International perspectives. Underground shelter systems are not unique to the United States. During the Cold War, many nations invested heavily in subterranean protection. Switzerland built one of the most comprehensive civilian bunker systems in the world, with space for 100% of its population. To this day, Swiss law requires all residential buildings to have bomb shelters. Russia maintains extensive underground facilities, including the massive bunker network beneath Cheyenne Mountain in the Ural Mountains. This facility, large enough to house tens of thousands of people, has been the subject of U.S. intelligence concerns since the late 1990s. China has also invested heavily in underground infrastructure, including the underground Great Wall, a network of tunnels designed to protect and transport nuclear weapons. What distinguishes the alleged U.S. underground network, if it exists as described, is its scale, sophistication, and the extraordinary amount of money potentially diverted to its construction. Critical analysis and skepticism. Despite the sensational nature of the claims about a $21 trillion underground civilization, there are significant reasons for skepticism. First, the $21 trillion in unsupported adjustments identified by Dr. Skidmore doesn't necessarily represent missing or misappropriated money. According to defense budget experts, these figures reflect accounting transactions, not actual spending. In government accounting, the same dollar can be counted multiple times as it moves between accounts, potentially inflating the total value of transactions. The entire Department of Defense budget from 1998 to 2015 was approximately $9.2 trillion, less than half the $21 trillion figure. Second, the scale of construction required for 170 city-sized underground facilities connected by transportation networks would be nearly impossible to conceal. Traditional underground construction projects like subway systems or mining operations employ thousands of workers and are highly visible from the surface. Third, maintaining the secrecy of such a massive project involving thousands of contractors, engineers, and workers would be extraordinarily difficult in the digital age. That said, the US government does have a documented history of conducting large-scale classified projects, from the Manhattan Project to Area 51, though none approaching the scale alleged here. Conclusion and unanswered questions. So where does the truth lie? Are there really elaborate underground cities built with trillions in diverted funds? Or are these claims merely the latest chapter in a long history of subterranean conspiracies? What we know for certain is that the US government maintains several underground facilities for continuity of government purposes. We also know that there were significant accounting issues at the Pentagon and HUD with trillions in transactions that lacked proper documentation. The leap from these established facts to a secret civilization beneath our feet requires evidence that has not yet been conclusively presented. When asked if she had personally seen these underground facilities, Fitz made a startling claim. She was offered access to one, but declined, stating she would rather take her chances on the surface. With these claims being made only recently, it may be years before we know the truth. Like many things branded conspiracies for a while, it may just be a matter of time before it's common knowledge. Whether you find these claims credible or not, they raise important questions about government transparency, fiscal accountability, and disaster preparedness. If trillions are indeed being spent on underground facilities for the elite, shouldn't the public have a say in these preparations? And if these claims are unfounded, what does explain the accounting discrepancies in our nation's books? As we go on about our lives on the surface, the question remains, what really lies beneath? The truth may be deeper than we know.